Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim अम्बत्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणि O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Partha, the ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanura Mardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. And the supreme teacher of the universe, Jagadguru Sri Krishna, in this 18th Adhyay of Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, just told us that how we can renounce our karma. Renouncing the karma not by way of avoiding the karma, not by way of saying, I am not going to do it. Sri Krishna says, no, whatever you are doing, you have to do. Offer it to me. Be my instrument. Be my channel. Give away that ownership. Renounce that ownership of doing the work to me, Sri Krishna says. And being instrument in my hands, you do that work, you do that task that you are going to do wholeheartedly. And then Sri Krishna has told, what is the advantage of surrendering the ownership of the task that you are doing to me? Why only ownership of the task? You surrender yourself, your all the chitta, your all the mind, your the intellect, everything you surrender to me. And then what happens? Sri Krishna has told us that mat chittaha. Once you surrender yourself to me, once you fix your mind on me, mat chittaha, mat prasadat tarishyasi sarvadurgani. Mat chittaha sarvadurgani prasadat tarishyasi. You will cross over all the obstacles, all the difficulties, all those boulders which are blocking your path. Sarvadurgani. Sarvadurgani is all the obstacles. You will tarishyasi. You will cross over. You will win over them. You will just thrash all those boulders which are on the way with my grace. Mat prasadat. That we should never forget. Whatever happens is with the grace of the Lord. Once we devote ourselves, once we surrender ourselves, once we take a sharanagati in the Lord, then Lord truly takes our responsibility. And then Lord showers His grace upon us so that we can cross over, we can get over all the obstacles, all the difficulties. And then atachetvam ahaṅkārān shrośyasi vinakṣyasi. But, Sri Krishna says, but with that ego that I am superior, with that egotism, if you don't heed to my teachings, atachetvam ahaṅkārān na shrośyasi. Whatever I have been teaching you, whatever I have been counseling you, if you don't listen to that out of your egoism, out of your high-headedness, then what is going to happen? Then vinakṣyasi. You are going to be destroyed. You shall perish because you won't be overcome those obstacles, the difficulties which are lying in the path. And you will keep on stumbling, you will keep on falling, you will keep on getting hurt again and again and again, and that will be your destruction. because you won't be able to cross over any of those obstacles, those sarva durgani, you won't be able to tarishyasi. And then Sri Krishna says that the egoism, your high-headedness, your me and mine, the I, if that tiny I raises its head, and out of that tiny I raising its head, you don't listen to my teachings, then you are doomed. Then it is a destruction for you. So the Lord's grace is most important, and that will only shower when that ego is totally eliminated, that ego is totally destroyed. So Sri Krishna again and again telling us, get rid of that wretched ego. And Sri Ramakrishna also told us that however you may try, you will not achieve anything if you do not get the grace of the Lord. That is the ultimate thing. We may slog ourselves doing so many things, hard efforts, but at the end, if Lord grace doesn't befall, if Lord doesn't shower His grace, everything becomes useless, because we slog, we put in hard efforts, we put in so much of hard work with me and mine in my mind, with the I consciousness so very inflated. I keep on working, I keep on doing the things, and the moment that I is out, the moment I am the instrument, I am the servant, I am the child of the mother, then automatically Lord's grace, that prasada, it starts showering. And then we can cross over any kind of obstacles. That is not obstacle at all for us then. So that is Sri Krishna has told, and again he is going to tell us that what harm this egoism creates. Now, in the 59th Shloka, again Sri Krishna is going to caution us. He is going to caution us about the dangerousness of this egoism. yadahaṅkāramāśritya na yotsya iti manyase mithyaiṣa vyavasāyaste prakṛtistvāṃ niyokṣyati. Now Sri Krishna says, yat ahaṅkāram, if filled with ego, yat ahaṅkāramāśritya, having surrendered yourself, having taken shelter in that egoism, having given up yourself to that ego, yat ahaṅkāramāśritya na yotsya iti manyase, you think that I will not fight. Out of that egoism. Now Arjuna has given so much the knowledge for that matter to Sri Krishna in the first adhyaya of Vishada Yoga, that he has given all the reasons, he has given all the justification of why he doesn't want to fight this war, this Mahabharata war, which is actually the Dharma Yuddha. Dharma Yuddha, the Pandavas, they have to fight against the Kauravas to eliminate that unrighteousness, to eliminate that ill from this particular earth. But that Dharma Yuddha, now Arjuna doesn't want to fight. And now he gave so many ridiculous justifications and excuses to Sri Krishna. And because of that, she says, finally his resolve was, I will not fight. And in fact, he slumped on the footboard of the chariot. And now Sri Krishna says, if out of that egoism, I will not fight. You are saying this. If you think, filled with that egoism of me and mine, filled with that egoism of the I consciousness, if you are saying, I will not fight. If you think I will not fight, that is vain, my child. It is absolutely useless talk. It doesn't have any, strength in it. It is just a vain talk. Mithyaiṣa, that is a mithya. Vyavasāyaste prakṛtistvāṃ niyokṣyati. He says your very nature to your bone marrow will compel you to fight. Don't just foolishly say that I will not fight out of that false ego that you are carrying with you. I will not fight. Who are you, man? Sri Krishna says. It is such a vain talk. Out of ego you saying, I will not fight. And then Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, your very nature, you are a Kshatriya. And Sri Krishna has told us the duties of Kshatriya. A Kshatriya is like a god to the subjects whom the Kshatriya is going to protect. Protect against unrighteousness, protect against evil, protect against wretchedness, protect against all the evils on this, in this universe. Now, if that is the Kshatriya, if that is the very core nature of Arjuna, Sri Krishna says, you can't help it, my child. With your false ego, you may say, I will not fight, but your very nature to the core, you are a born Kshatriya. Fighting for righteousness is your birthright. That is your duty which has come to you in this birth as Arjuna. So that very nature will compel you. Prakṛtistvāṃ niyokṣyati. Your very core nature, very, the inner nature, that will compel you, whatever you may say. So Sri Krishna is now telling Arjuna that what you said in the first adhyaya was all nonsense. It was all a vain talk. You giving justifications for not fighting. That was under the influence of that false ego. And that is what Sri Krishna says, that this yadahaṅkāramāśritya na yotsya iti manyase. Don't think that you are not going to fight under the influence of that false ego. Your very nature, you are born Kshatriya. Your duty is to protect the praja, to protect the subjects from all the evilness. Your very, the duty by birth, being a Kshatriya, that is your swadharma, that is your swabhava. You cannot avoid it, whatever you may say. So now Sri Krishna is, preparing Arjuna to once again pick up that bow, to get the arrows and be ready to wage the war against all the evilness that is standing in front of them in the form of the array of Kaurava army. So, you have been nurtured to this day to do the duty of Kshatriya. That is what Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna. Your attainments, your aptitudes are such that you vehemently oppose evil wherever you find it. You cannot sit quiet. You cannot just slump on the footboard of this chariot and say, I will not fight. You are not a stuff of that kind. You are a stuff. You are a man who has to protect the dharma, who has to protect the righteousness. And moment the unrighteousness starts raising its head, your inner duty, your inner consciousness will compel you, I have to wipe it out. I have to get rid of that unrighteousness. I have to get rid of that evil. Is it possible for you to practice quietism when wickedness is let loose in your presence? That is what Sri Krishna is now impelling on Arjuna. When the wickedness is surrounded all across, how can you keep quiet? How can you slump in this chariot saying, I will not fight? Any decision on your part contrary to it amounts to conflict in your personality. There is no greater harm to you than you make up being split up. That is the greatest harm you are doing yourself. That is the greatest harm you are inflicting on yourself by saying, I will not fight. Because you are rajasic. You have to uphold the righteousness. You have to eliminate the evil, the wretchedness, the unrighteousness. And with that particular inner nature, with that inherent nature of yours, that is your swabhava, you will have to fight. So, don't get under that false influence of that ego. Till the time you have that ego, you are doomed. You remove that ego. You get rid of that false I, that I will not fight. You have to fight. You have to fight as instrument in my hands. You are not going to fight. My instrument in the form of Arjuna is going to fight, and that is what Sri Krishna is indicating here. That just don't come under the influence of that false ego, which is going to destroy you otherwise. Sri Ramakrishna says that you can never attain to jnana, bhakti or mukti till egoism persists. Ego creates havoc. Ego doesn't take us anywhere till the time that I consciousness is pronounced, that I consciousness is so very influencing. There is no jnana, there is no bhakti, there is no mukti. Birth and death also do not come to an end to him who is given to egoism. Naturally, with egoism, we can never cross over this cycle of birth and death, Sri Ramakrishna says. We have to get entrapped. We have to get stuck in that cycle of repeated births and deaths and experience all those pains and pleasures and those miseries and sorrows and griefs. So, if we have to get out of it, the best thing is to get rid of the ego. And as Sri Krishna says that, don't come under the influence of that false ego saying, I will not fight. Because ultimately it is our very nature with which we are born. The very nature which compels us to do what we are supposed to do, what we are ought to do under the guidance of the Lord, as the work allotted by the Lord. And when this happens, that is the real duty that everyone will start performing. That is the real swadharma that will force all of us to perform our duties. So Sri Krishna says, just give up this foolishness, this vain talk. I will not fight. You will fight. Your inherent nature will make you fight. So just get out of that the trap. Get out of that the delusion that you are carrying with you, with that false ego, saying, I will not fight. So that is how now Sri Krishna is just putting back Arjuna's confidence back into him and gearing Arjuna that come now is the time that you have to pick up your bow and arrow and start the fight. As the discourse comes to an end, Arjuna will now start getting ready to wage that war against the evil, to wage that war against the unrighteousness, to wage that war against the wretchedness, which is his true nature, inherent nature. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur Jai Ma. Jai Swami.